Well, no, because I said, well, why don't you change your perspective, your perception of things? This place is disorganized, but you really can't compare it with anything else. So why not say, dude, this fucking place is amazing? He's like, you're right. I'm like, it's all 100%. I said, the day you realize that absolutely nothing is anybody else's fault but your own, the day you kind of wake up and go, holy fuck, I've been doing shit wrong my whole. 3 days Monday.
Every day is Monday. Every day is the same day.
Every day is Monday because there's always something to do.
Yeah.
There's always something to do. You know, it's like, why does it have to be a weekend? Why does it have to be why does it have to be a weekend? Why does it have to be a special occasion? Why does it have to be a birthday, a holiday, a fucking whatever to do something nice, special? It doesn't have to be. Why does it have to be a special, why does it have to be a special day to go to work? Why does it got to be a special day to do anything? It doesn't. Every day is Monday for me. If I have to work, or if I choose to work, or if I choose to scratch my balls, I know I understand that a lot of people don't understand. They can't relate to that.
Mm-hmm.
Monday through Friday, the grind. Yesterday. So I am in the middle. We're in the middle. I think today's the last day I'll be here too. But so we're installing landing gear on an airplane, and it takes about a day per gear, just to hang it. And then little tiny little things. It could take about 6 hours approximately just to hang it, and then the little tiny details. It's all in the details. It's no big deal. It really isn't a big deal. It's just heavy, clunky fucking thing. And well, we're not going to get into the details of how it's done. But so I have a couple of new guys with me, right? So, and I haven't done this in a very long time. So people do things like, oh, Ness, what do I do next? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. What does the book say? No, I swear to God, I swear to you, promise you. You know what I mean? There's another guy over there that it's his project. Remember, I'm not running this project. It's an airplane that I'm very familiar with. I'm very familiar with this airplane. I can troubleshoot anything. You know what I mean? But when it comes to stuff like this, dude, first of all, I didn't take it off. Right. So if I didn't remove it, I got to go back and fucking figure out other people's garbage and mess. So when I was talking to the new kids, because they are all in the same boat as I am, 100%. We're all in the same boat. Even though I have a little bit more of a clue than they do, it's like, what do we do? It's the book tells you everything, of course, and then you rely on your lead, the person who's in charge of the project, the person who's like, hey man, I know you've probably done this 2, 3 times, and especially in the last couple of months, because I know you did another one recently. So do me a favor, point us in the right direction and point this. When I was talking to the kids, they're saying, it's like, is this normal? And I'm like, what's normal? And they're like, well, not finishing the project that you started on. And I said, I'm so glad you said that, because for future reference, I said, I usually don't start a project that I can't finish. And this is not my project, but I'm here to assist. And the only reason I'm here to assist is because I personally asked the universe for an extra opportunity to make some extra money so I can go on a trip. And this project came up and I jumped all over it. It's good money. Fuck it. It's good extra money, right? And we were discussing a lot of little things about mechanics, about what it takes to be a mechanic. These are brand new guys that just finished school, they just got their certifications. And what people don't understand is, like, this isn't like a car mechanic that you can just, actually I think car mechanics and us are pretty much the same joke. There's instructions to do pretty much everything. but you got to figure it out on the way in. So I
Mhm.
told him, I was like, everything has to do with experience, about touching and feeling, on the job training. I can probably presume the same thing with you. Your experience, you're 115,000 pound fucking loader, you know, like, don't you think that's a little scary too? You know,
Well, it's got a certain level of sketch to it, yeah.
you don't tie that bitch down, you're gonna have an uh-oh, you know?
Yeah. Look, well, the way I chain things, if it comes off the truck, I've got
I,
more problems than anything else. Like I, I'm probably upside down in a ditch. So I mean, that's if it's coming off of there, there's some serious problems. So, but yeah, I get it. That's one of like even going into a turn, like the planning and going into a turn and looking at certain routes and figuring out which street you're going to use because I have blanket permits. So like if it's not a restricted road, I can go on it. So I have to look at it before I go in there. Like
yeah, you can't turn around.
yeah, last week I had it happen where they had changed the construction entrance and didn't notify the company. So I literally like went down the side street, swung around a building in between some cars, and got to the gate. And they had put a silk fence in it, which is just like it keeps aggregates from coming out of the job site. And I ran it over because I was like, I called my boss. I was like, dude, I was like, they put a silk fence where my entrance is. He's like, that's the only entrance you're supposed to use. I was like, I know. He said, all right, run it over. I'll send somebody to fix it. And I mean, there's literally no going around. Like it just doesn't work that way. So if I,
Why would they block the entrance?
they had changed the plans, but they didn't tell anybody, or the people on site probably knew, but nobody from the company I work for knew. So it just turned into a thing. They actually ended up having their permit revoked because of my actions, which really sucks. And they had to get it re-inspected. But the sad part is like the guy who was watching me. I opened the gate, I walked through, I looked for somebody to talk to. There's nobody there. So then I got on the phone. He watched me while I was on the phone. He had drove up in his truck and sat there and watched me and didn't say anything. And then when I ran it over, he revoked the permit. So he's a little nut pisser, but stuff happens. Um,
Wait. So there was somebody from the company there, not your company, but from the location that you're dropping this shit off. There was somebody there
there's somebody from
that
the city
from
that
this.
watched me do it. Yeah.
Oh, the
So they sat
city.
there. Yeah. So they literally they put it up like that afternoon before. So it hadn't even been 24 hours. So just
And you're
there was no,
and you're running it over.
I ran it over. Like he watched me I raised the bed of the truck up high enough to where it wouldn't catch it. So I would just break
Yeah.
the stakes. So all it is you put new stakes in the ground.
Ah,
It's not a big deal, but he made it a big deal. So
of
whatever.
course, because he's a city employee. I hate to say it. Most city employees,
Yeah.
and I know my brother is going to call me and say, "You motherfucker," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're a piece of shit. You're a fucking city employee." Listen, dude, I understand. Listen, what was that movie? Zoology? No, Zootopia,
Zootopia.
right? Where the sloth is at the DMV going, uh,
I forgot about that.
why is it? Because these people unfortunately hate their fucking lives. They don't know how to change. They can't change in their minds. They can't change. And this goes back into the conversations that I had with these kids that I don't want to say, stop. Don't even get me started on it. Because yesterday we were talking about the kids. We're talking about, how work is performed. And then they're talking about, yeah, then they were talking about like their hours and, it's like, yeah, well, they're brand new. Like what I'm saying, these are brand new kids. These are within the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is their first duty station. I guess you could say it that way. Their first job in aviation, right? So these people that I'm doing the project for, the company, I'm not an employer of theirs. I'm a subcontractor. They call me out whenever they need some help. So they fucking, I don't have a schedule. I don't have a, I literally control and pick and choose my jobs. And like I said, every day is Monday. When you're an employee and you're working for an establishment and you have to abide by certain fucking, times and rules and so forth, of course, it's like, oh, hours of operation are great. In aviation, there really isn't any hours of operation. It's supposed to be a 24-hour fucking operation. If this location, this place here is a brand new place, and so they have very limited resources as far as personnel and supervision, blah, 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 blah. Why they call people like me to come out here and say, hey, handle this shift or whatever the fuck it is. Okay. Now, we were talking about what a person should do in general, coming into and how we need to look at things. Because the kid was telling me, he's like, it just seems a little disorganized. And I asked him, he goes, are all companies like this? And I said, wait a moment, what's your experience with this? And he goes, no, but this is my first one. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I said, do you think this is disorganized? Well, it just seems a bit. So you're saying something is disorganized because you don't understand it, right? Well, I mean, because you can't really compare it with anything else. So you automatically assume that this is a fucking disaster. Oh, I never said that. Well, you said disorganized because you don't understand. So why is it that when you are afraid of something, don't understand something, it's automatically wrong? And he stopped and looked at me and goes, damn, dude, you're right. And I said, let me tell you something. The grass isn't greener on the other side. It never is. I said, we expect it to be because, oh my God, we're looking at that guy and that's amazing. He's doing great and he's this and that. And he's having a fantastic. And let me ask you, do you think he has the same attitude as you towards his work environment, his work attitude, his work, just everything? Well, no, because I said, well, why don't you change your perspective, your perception of things? This place is disorganized, but you really can't compare it with anything else. So why not say, dude, this fucking place is amazing, dude? And he's like, you're right. I'm like, it's all 100%. I said, the day you realize that absolutely nothing is anybody else's fault but your own, then you kind of wake up and go, holy fuck, I've been doing shit wrong my whole life because it's always his and his. And the reason, but Mom, the reason I jumped off that bridge was because they were forcing me to. Or the reason I went, I had that extra drink, or I had that smoke, or I did this, or I did that, because somebody, no. Ownership. I said, let me ask you a question. So when you do things good, do you celebrate your victories? He goes, fuck yeah. I said, you own it, right? He goes, yeah, I did that. I said, exactly. What happens when you fail?
It's like you gotta celebrate them. Like, yeah, look for that lesson.
He's like, well, it's just, yeah, it sucks, right? I said, yeah. I said, what happens if you take ownership in your failures? What happens if you take ownership and you love it more than your victories? You embrace it. There's nobody can take it away. There's nobody. Well, what happens when, what if I do something really bad and I get fired? Well, hold on for a second. I said, things never happen just because. This conversation, we had an in-depth conversation.
You guys were going.
I'm telling you, we had an in-depth conversation. We even talked about fucking breathing techniques, how to pretty much open up their third eye, just relax. I mean, we were on both sides of the scale in here. We're talking about work, but everything has to do with, with you. We talked about life insurance. We talked about investments. We talked about, these are kids, dude. These are kids. These are young, early 20s. I think one of them was in late 20s, but whatever. I'm 46.
Right.
20 years ago. I'm talking to me 20 years ago. In other words, that's the way I see things. It's like this is what I've done. This is what happened to me. And then when I realized that I can control everything that happens to me, it changes everything. Life doesn't happen to me; it happens with me. You know, so I think that conversation yesterday, and then we were talking about work schedules. We were talking about times, and I said, "Listen, you're never gonna learn anything when you keep at work." I said, "If you're only thinking about eight in the gate, eight in the gate, eight in the gate, I got to do my 8 hours." You know, you guys are asking me questions about money, about investments, about life insurance, about fucking infinite banking systems, and blah 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 blah. Real estate. We had a conversation about buying and flipping real estate. I mean, conversations that I was very much can handle because it's been my life experiences. But at the same time, I was like, you're worrying about the wrong aspects because right now you only need to focus on one thing, and that's personal growth. If you can start growing it right now, do you have the extra? Do you have $1,000 to put a month away in anywhere? Well, no. Then how much can you start saving? They're like, I don't know, a couple $100. I said, great. Can you do $100 a month? Well, yeah. I said, then start there. I said, you have to start. It doesn't matter. You guys are young enough. You have to start now. I said, if you build yourself the proper way, but you have to have the self-discipline because if not, you're going to say, oh, that agent fucked me. When you're talking about the IUL, we talked about IUL, we talked about how you can, whatever amount that you can put into it. But you know what I'm talking about, I can't afford that $500 this month, but I can afford 50 to keep my policy enforced. Great. Pay your fucking 50. Pay your death benefit part. Everything else, you're gonna have to play catch up. But I told them you have a year to catch up. But whatever. At the end of the afternoon, came back and I realized one thing, and they're like, this is enforced more, this daily meeting. And I said, guys, if you really want to, as a matter of fact, we're launching something today, 8 p.m. It'll be on my YouTube. And it'll be there. We're doing 100 days straight. We're going to record. We're recording and we're launching. Every day is going to be a brand new recording after launch. So my official launch was yesterday. I think yours was too, right?
I uploaded it. I had it spin yesterday. Actually, there's one playing right now at 5 a.m.
Two?
Episode 2.
I'm gonna. You're putting yours at 5 a.m.
Well, that made sense when I uploaded it because that's what time we were doing it. But it makes me wonder how many people would be up.
That's why I put it at 8. I put the premiere at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And the only reason I did that is because I started looking. I was interviewed in my YouTube. There's a couple interviews in there, but I was interviewed by one guy specifically, Bradley in Vegas, and he launches every Monday at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And I was like, why? Because at 8 p.m. people are home, they can relax, they're looking, they're scrolling. It's that downtime, right? So if we have a conversations between 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour, you know what I mean? It's just enough time for them to go home. I love the fact that our conversations aren't exactly specifically 30 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes. You know what I mean? They just go whatever it is, especially here. It's off because they can just go through and say, oh, this one was only 30 minutes long. I'll catch it now. I think it's phenomenal. I really think it's phenomenal. So these kids were like, man, so you guys talk about all that stuff at 5 a.m.? I'm like, I do. And he goes, why? I said, he goes, you guys must be fucking boys. And I'm like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I don't even know where the fucker lives.
Oh, that's awesome.
They don't perceive it. They don't see it, So
you got really quiet.
What's that?
Oh, there you go. I said you got really quiet for a second.
Oh, I said they don't see that. They don't perceive it. It's not a normal act. It's not a, why would you wake up and call some fucking dude at 5 a.m. in the morning? And I'm like, because he's keeping me accountable. That's all it is. It's accountability. right? Whatever conversation, whatever we talk about, there is no script. There is no, we talked about it. Like, oh, do you have special subjects? You know what? No, we don't. We don't have a special subject. We don't have anything. We just talk about pretty much whatever comes out.
Yeah.
And, now we're not talking about, banging hookers and doing blow, unless you want to talk about that. I haven't done one of these. I haven't done one. So I don't know. And I'm not going to tell you which one.
Yeah. Let's stay out of that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely lived a very interesting life in my 20s, but no hookers. So, but
no hookers.
I was talking to the man who's doing all the stuff in my kitchen yesterday morning.
How's that coming along?
He's testing today, so there should be no more mold, and then we can start rebuilding. So the plumber came by last night. We're gonna get that going this weekend, and just I was literally washing dishes in my front yard with a hose, and my neighbor was like, "You washing your truck?" I was like, "No, I'm doing dishes." And he was just like, "Oh." He was like, I told him what's going on. He was like, "Man, let me know if you need anything, like running water." I was like, "Yeah, I got you. I appreciate it." But I was talking to him, to the man that his name's Jamie, freaking awesome dude. And he was asking about the podcast because we were just having a conversation about everything, and he was just like, "Dude," he's like, "that's freaking awesome." He's like, "You guys are gonna help so many people." He's like, "Man," he's like, I thought about doing something like that with one of my boys a while ago, but we never executed on it." And out of like, let's see here, I think I've talked to 5 people that have had a thought about having conversations like this, and then they just never executed on it. And that just shows you like how many people out there really thinking about helping others, and like the value that they have to give, and then they just never do it. All of the people that miss out on something like that because of a lack of execution, uh, just a lack of discipline, or a lack of time, or a perceived lack of time. Like all these things that are 100%, you can overcome all of them. It's not like it's a lack of knowledge, because you can find out anything on YouTube. We did research for what, I don't know, 2 hours. And we were like, yeah. I was like, oh well, I got a Zoom account. All right. And that wasn't even one of the recommendations. So
No.
it's just so it's like whatever. There's just so much there. And then of course, while I was doing my little grill session in the backyard, that's when that popped into my head that I sent you. Uh, the quote from Daniel Lott's "Fire." I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, "I don't know, I might put that on the wall behind
you have when we're doing the editing on the video, you're gonna have to stop it. I want everybody to see that fucking quote, please. All right, you're gonna have to put. All right, so we're gonna put a pause. Quote insert here.
All right, I will.
Yeah, what kind of minutes are we looking at? We're at the.
You can't tell.
I don't know.
Whatever. I'll look at it when I edit it. It's not that big of a deal.
But because either way, that's phenomenal. That I was like, that was strong. I loved it. Yeah. I was like, yeah, motherfucker. I was showing everybody my boy.
Yeah, no, I was just like, gosh, I was like, I don't know where that came from, but it just like popped in my head real fast.
Those are the little things, those are the vines. When you get these little, all right. So remember how we talked about in your alpha state of mind, there is no words. It's only pictures. It's only pictures. It's just flashes. And your mind is deciphering everything, and you're adding words to whatever the fuck it is you're doing. I mean, it's kind of like your conscience pretty much talking to you, right? So when you're in that state and it's talking to you, you have a hard time. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly what's going on, but you can't articulate it. It's hard to articulate. That's why I have a notepad. And when I'm in those states, when I try to go to states, and then I'll just kind of like with my eyes closed, and I have my pad here, and I'll just start writing. I'll just start writing. I'll just start writing anything, and I'm like, okay, and I'm writing 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 and writing and writing. And at the end, I start realizing that it's all gibberish except certain key words. Like, for example, when I was contemplating for the whole 15 seconds of doing this shit with you, kept telling myself, what the fuck are you waiting for? Just do it. What the fuck are you waiting for? Just do it. Why are you doubting it? Just fucking do it. And that's pretty much everything else. And then in essence, when your spirit talks to you, you have to act it out. If not, he's gonna go dormant. This motherfucker doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to me. So why should I? So I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna remember, there's two of us, right? There's my terrestrial self and my spirit self. Spirit self wants supposed to be driving. I'm just an avatar. But if terrestrial self wants to go, spirit chills and goes, all right, let's go have fun. You're gonna fuck up bad. I don't give a fuck.
It's so funny because like when you're talking, it just made me think back to Outwitting the Devil, where he's like, the old the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is talked about in what is it? The art of getting rich? I think is what it was. I don't. Nah, that can't be it. I'll have to look up that book. Because that's when they're really. It's W. Clement Stone and Napoleon Hill is the authors of that book, and it's freaking phenomenal.
I don't think I've heard that.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to it. It is
Please.
One of my favorite books that I've literally listened to.
Wait, watch this. Let me do this right now. This is how things are done. Audible.
Yeah, it's the science of getting rich.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Where's my search?
Oh no, it's not. There it is.
What's it called?
It's called Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. And he talks so in-depthly about the subconscious mind. It is.
He does?
It's freaking.
And
yeah, it's freaking amazing. But that one, and then Outwitting the Devil, and then Think and Grow Rich, like they're all talk about that conversation with your subconscious mind.
Hey, okay, it's bought. Got it.
I'm probably going to listen to it again today, actually, now that I've opened that.
Wait, there was two of them? Or wait, what is this one? Oh, this was Nightingale. Contact Achievement. Okay, so I guess there was two versions. Or two. Who is this one? I just bought the first one.
I didn't know there was two. Did not know there's two.
I don't know. Maybe it's. I think it's the same book, just narrated by different people.
Gotcha.
Doesn't fucking matter. I don't care.
Gotcha.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, that conversation with that subconscious mind, your inner self. You gotta listen.
There's no choice. You have to. And here's the thing, though: we're not taught to listen to it.
All right.
But movies tell us, though. They tell us the truth in movies, but we don't listen. Oh, it's only fiction. No, Marica, they're telling you they're disguising it. You know what I mean? Whoever is out there manipulating, the little puppeteer of the fucking world, which there are puppeteers here, that are controlling everything. They'll tell you straight up. They'll tell you to their face. It's almost like, who took the donut? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. This donut is not from that box over there. That's what they do. They show you the fucking answer and then they hide it in fiction. And
Mm.
it's us, the conversations we had yesterday, it's like, remember, we talked about there is no right and wrong. There is no, you know, it's only moral. It's only, and we're here for ourselves. But here's the best part. When we're here for ourselves, everything goes smoother and better and when everybody grows together. Because when you're stepping on somebody's dick, he's not having a good time and you look like an asshole. It's not good. It's not good. Your success isn't going to go. It's going to go to a certain point. You know, it's. I
Mm-hmm.
use the example of Pablo Escobar, for example. I'm Colombian, and everybody's like, "Oh, fucking Colombia, Pablo Escobar." It's like, so Pablo Escobar was a bad motherfucker. Like he killed a lot of people. He was not a nice man.
Mm.
Fucking guy was a genius, and he was great at what the fuck he was doing. And you have to acknowledge him for that. Literally. I mean, the guy built an empire being a fucking peasant. He was born a fucking peasant. He was nobody. And he
I was like
built
in
a
a third world country too.
yeah. So he literally built an empire. He found a loophole in the system and he fucking ran with it. Unfortunately, in that loophole in the system was man, he was breaking the rules of man. They're man-made rules. But
Mm.
other than that, he wasn't killing people in the beginning. He only started killing people because they started fucking with him. You
Mm.
know, like leave me alone, please. Leave me. I'm just making money. Leave me alone. You guys, dude. I remember he said he goes, "What's the national debt of the country?" And they told him. I was like, "Oh, whatever." He goes, "All right, I'll pay it off. Just leave me the fuck alone." He said he would pay the national debt. How much money did this motherfucker have?
Good God, I didn't know that. What's a,
Dude, he told the country back in the 80s, I will pay off your national debt. Leave me the fuck alone. And they kept going after him. No, no. All right, fuck you. I'm going to kill you, your mother, your grandmother. And if your grandmother's dead, I'm going to unbury her and then I'm going to kill her again. Just leave me the fuck alone. That's what turned him evil, you know? But you have to once again acknowledge and say, hey, he was doing it out of love. He was doing it to help his community. He helped so many people on the good side.
Hmm.
Thousands of people. Built neighborhoods for really poor people. Gave them fucking houses. Really poor people, he gave them houses. He built neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? So he used us. He did a lot of good. But
Hmm.
once again, it doesn't offset the cost, or does it offset the cost? I don't know. You do enough good,
Well, because there was some gangster that I can't. Gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up now. But he was in a shootout with the police, and he like was writing the note as a victim. Like, I don't know why they're doing this to me. Blah 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 blah. He's like, all I want to do is do good, and in his mind, he was doing good for his community. But yet they were there, and they ended up like he killed more people than
Didn't really want to
cancer
help. Yeah.
probably. Yeah, and it's just like like all right, cool. But he's like, yeah, I don't know why they're doing this to me. I just want to help my people, blah blah blah. And it's perspective. It always is. Everything boils down to your perspective on the situation, and then there's actually just right and wrong. So this is like, there's no right or wrong. Yeah, you're kind of killing people, bro. So
There is no right and wrong in perspective.
just like, geez.
Yeah.
It's like, geez.
That's what I'm saying. So everything isn't exactly what we are and what we say. One of the guys that I was talking to yesterday has a 5-year-old boy, and I said, "Man, I'm so happy for you that you have a 5-year-old son because that's an amazing time." And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I want to be the best dad. That's why I'm asking all these questions. I want to do this." I said, "Great." I said, "But here's the thing: it doesn't matter how good you are. I don't want to piss on your Cheerios, but your kid's gonna come out fucked up anyway.
You're the
He
only
goes,
other person that I've known that says piss in your Cheerios.
that what?
It says piss in your Cheerios. You're the only other person I've ever heard say that.
It's an old saying, dude.
Like, it is. It really is.
You know,
That's funny. There's the
it's
dispatcher when I was younger told me, she was like, "Who pissed in your Cheerios today? You're usually in such a good mood." And I was just like, "Huh." I was like, "I'm keeping that."
yeah.
And so I've kept that since my early 20s. And my wife is like, "Where the hell did you hear that?" And then now, like, this was like this week that I said it. And she's like, "Where the
Really?
hell did you hear that?" Yeah. And then now you're like, pissing your Cheerios. But proceed. Sorry. I just thought that was like, oh, okay.
It's like it happens to me, squirrel.
Yeah.
But if you know, if your kids are gonna come out fucked up, I told him, and he's like, I said, listen, man, doesn't matter what you do, how you do it. Just focus on one thing, please, and don't do it for me. Do it for your son. I said, you got 4 years left. There's four. I said, 4 years left. Make these next 4 years so valuable with knowledge on your son that if you're going to change your life, you have to change your life, and your son will follow your steps, but you have to change your life. Unfortunately, as parents, we always say, do a don't do don't do like me, just do as I say. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how awesome would it be if you change your life right now in the next 4 years? Because by 9 years old, your son or kids in general have 95% of that fucking programming already in their fucking microchip. 95% by the time they're 9. His personality, the way of thinking, everything by 9. And that's not mine. That was Dr. Joe Dispenza, I think it is.
Okay. I like Joe.
Joe's badass, dude. Joe's badass. No, have you seen him too? He's fucking ripped too. That's a big motherfucker.
Well, I mean, that's the guy that was like riding a bicycle and got hit by, I believe it was a Ford Bronco, and ejected from his bicycle and like destroyed his spine. And he mentally rebuilt the circuitry and was able to walk again. And like
This
the
is Joe
story's
Dispenza?
yeah, that's Joe Dispenza. So I'll find the interview with Tom Bilyeu and I'll send it to you, and you'll just be like, "What the?" So all of that mind body connection that he's talking about, and like actually visualizing and rebuilding all that, like that's how he got himself to be able to walk again. Freaking crazy.
Isn't that in a movie?
I don't think so. If it is, I haven't seen it.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange? Did he? No, he destroyed his hands. He was a surgeon.
His mind was able to fucking manipulate his hand. The guy that the guy who told him was he couldn't walk. The guy playing basketball in the beginning of the movie, he's like, man, you're not gonna believe me, you know? What do you mean? You repaired your spinal cord. You're walking. You're playing basketball. He goes, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It is there. That's crazy. And that's well after that interview. I think I watched that interview in like 2017.
So, yes, 100%. The problem is we live in a physical world,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't see past these walls. But we have to believe it. Truly, 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 truly believe it. It's almost like a lunatic, it's like, this guy's fucking crazy. Yes, I am.
I keep
What's
on
crazy?
interrupting you too. Dang it.
No, that's the point. That's the point, you know? But yes, so I didn't know about that Joe Dispenza. I'm going to watch that. Tom Bilyeu, dude, I love Impact Theory. Is that what it's on?
Yeah.
All right. I'll find it. I'll get it.
I was like, I'm looking it up right now. Stop.
I mean, listen, that channel Gaia,
Okay.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have that, or have you seen any shows from there?
I haven't seen any shows from there. I'm trying to refrain from buying any more streaming services.
Okay. Swap one.
Swap one, that good, huh? Interesting.
It's
Okay.
it's not daytime TV.
Right.
It is 100. Dude, Joe Dispenza has a show on there, um, talking about that, talking about
Really?
the mind. Oh yeah, dude, it's insane. It really, like, you're like this. So I'm not crazy. No, you're not. And unfortunately, it just keeps building and building and building and building and building and building. So yeah, and in Gaia, you'll learn more about consciousness. You'll learn more about manipulation, superhuman powers. Dude, there's one in there. There's a guy that can't touch you. Can't touch you. He'll kill you with his finger, with his pinky. He will kill you. He develops so much electricity that he will stop your heart.
That's crazy.
Superhuman. And it shows. He'll grab a leaf from a tree and barely touch you, and you can see the fucking current jumping from the leaf. Oh my God. It is insane. Dude, there's guys out there that oh, you ever seen those jokers that it's like a martial arts, silent martial arts without touching. They don't touch, and it's all movements. So you're like, what's that guy doing? They go into something like that, and there's guys out there that literally be in charge, and he'll just go, and the guy will fall. Not just fall, he gets pushed.
Interesting.
Like, it's crazy how it's all. I don't know. I'm just waving my hand, but I'm just saying it's all in the flow of energies.
So Raiden is real from Mortal Kombat. You shoot me with electricity from across the room.
I don't think across the room, but yeah. Anyway, yes, trade one of your streaming services for Gaia. You'll thank me later. And it's not something that you may want to watch it every day, you know. And there's things in there. Oh, I saw an interview once, and I want to do it. I told my wife that I had another thought, and I was going to jump into it.
Oh, I saw it.
You saw it?
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah. The Monroe Institute. Have you heard of it?
No.
They're in Virginia, out in fucking Virginia somewhere. The Monroe Institute is a huge 300-acre fucking plot of land with a big old building in there, and all they do is study human consciousness. And they'll induce you, and they'll prepare you for whatever it is that comes up next. There is a saying, I don't know, and I looked into it, and it's not expensive. And I told my wife, we have to do this, but we got to take off like 2 weeks together, and it's like $3,000, something like that per person. It is insane because you become supernatural. You're when you own your spirit, when you let the spirit come in, and you let your conscious, whatever it is, take control, and you let your physical self step back, dude, it helps with self-control. It helps with one of the things is that we suffer as human beings is the initial what fuck, you know? Oh, well, instead of just blurting out certain things, stop, listen, control your way of mind, your everything, because whatever comes out is how everything else is gonna perceive itself. So if you're showing anger, if you're showing all these other low frequency actions, you're counteracting all the positivity that you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it'll teach you to start doing all that stuff.
They have 57 programs, and some of them are even online for
Yeah.
opening up. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, it's never even heard of this place, but they have online courses, they have in-person courses. There's
How much is
things
the
ranging.
that there's a week that I think it's called it starts with a G. I forgot what it's called. The Gateway program.
Dude, there's so many programs because there's conscience coherence. That one's 5 days, 6 nights. That one's between like 1,000 to 2,500 bucks.
Yeah.
It looks like the price for most of those 5 days, 6 night ones, they're about 2,500 bucks at the
Yep.
high at the top.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Yep. And the Gateway program, dude, in the Gateway program, they use sound to they use sound frequency to separate your spirit from your body.
Oh
So in
wow.
other words, you're stepping into and the reactions, and that's what we don't know what really happens, but it's one of those things that when everybody comes out, it goes, dude, I traveled, I left, I saw this, I floated up, I can see my body, I can, all those experiences show up during the
And
Gateway
that's
program.
like that's nuts because like this place has been around since 1974. And
But the studies were in the 50s because they started with the CIA. They taught the CIA how to uh, quantum jump, I guess you could say, or like sneak in. Like they taught the CIA how to sneak into certain places by using their spirit, by having their spirit go out there and look
oh
and
geez.
spy. That's how it started. They were 100% a government program. And then he
Really?
goes, "This is too much for the government to handle. We have to excite the public." Which leads me to another conversation about how the public needs to be armed too. But anyway, yesterday I was talking to actually uh, my partner here. He Colombia, and in Colombia they de-armed everybody, right? So I said, wait a moment. So we can't go hunting and shoot. He goes, no, you can't have any guns. And I was like, so the only people that have guns is the government? He goes, yeah. And the bad guys. He goes, yeah. I said, so all the fucking people that are law abiding and want to protect themselves and those guys, they can't do that? No. All right. Check. Will not live in Colombia.
All right. But yeah. And like you looking at the political climates all over the planet, all these places that are like, you Americans and your guns. Like, how's that working out for you right now? It's not very good.
Yeah, we're working
So
up.
it's yeah, and of course I would have on the Stars and Stripes today when we.
Oh, 1776. You know what?
Yeah, yeah, dude, I wanted something for the 4th of July, and so I made it.
Nice.
So my fishing shirt still hard AF. I love them, but yeah, no, and it's very. I don't get the mentality of some people when it comes to firearms, where they're like firearms are the problem. No, bad people are the problem. Bad people are going to do what bad
Education.
people do, and that's all. That's all there is. There, there's always going to be predator. There's always going to be prey, and I, I, I just don't understand the thought process. Like, oh, okay, so you want to disarm the population. You do understand that criminals don't abide by laws. So if you outlaw the guns, the only people that are actually going to have the guns are going to be the outlaws. And law-abiding citizens won't be able to defend themselves from the outlaws, or if the government, I mean,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's like so,
Look, look.
1776. What happened? So, like, if you don't learn from history, it's going to repeat itself. Like, that's it's mind-boggling. So, and they're like, weren't there slaves in 1776? Yes, there were. I get that, but that is when we started down the path of independence. So, like, that's the beginning. People are,
Yeah, dude, there's still slavery right now. It's
and
just
yeah,
not
they
really
just
being
changed
talked
it.
about. They just changed the fucking name of it. You know,
Right. It's called employment. Well, no, because like, you think about it,
you said it.
when what
You said it. I was thinking it. I just didn't want to say it.
well, because they give you enough to pay your bills and buy your food, and that's it. So that's literally you're still working for the same thing. You just have the illusion of freedom. Now you get to do what you want to do. They're not beating you on the weekends. Like that's the only difference. So yeah, home ownership. All right, cool. If I don't pay my property tax, then what happens? If I get behind on giving the government their money, what happens? They seize your assets, and if you refuse to do it, they're either going to throw you in jail or they're going to take all your stuff, or both. So either way, it's really not yours,
There's
and
no.
that's
There was an old gentleman who I don't remember his name. I have a vivid image of him. He was just sitting down. He was a bigger guy, older, glasses, and he's talking about maritime law. And I really haven't looked at it too in depth, but I remember I said I need to look into it because maritime law is, you know, pretty much the law that we live upon. You know, why do we have birth certificates? You know, as far as because when a ship is made, it's they gave birth, it's giving birth or something like
mm-hmm.
that. And like cargo and shipping manifest and all this stuff, like all the words and technology, it's all maritime law. And then when he also said something that about ownership of property, for example, in the States, there is a way that you can, because right now, like you said, the government can take anything and everything from you. Oh, this is my fucking it's my homestead. They'll take your fucking homestead. They'll take your homestead. They don't give a shit, you know, because it really doesn't, you don't own it
mm-hmm.
unless somehow it is bought through maritime law. And if it's bought through maritime law, then you actually own everything. There is no just then it can't be taken away. I just don't know all the details. Yeah, I have. That's really something to really look into, um, because like the courts, just regular U.S. law is is. You have to remember one thing though. If 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 corporations are considered entities, what are we? We're entities, right? We are like our even though our social security number says it would not be used for fucking identification purposes,
Right.
you know, you know, we all have a number. We're all a business. We're all something. So yeah, dude, when we're born, the government automatically goes, all right, so that guy there, let's say he's worth about, I don't know, $3 billion. So they'll do something, get an insurance policy that throughout his life, that motherfucker right there should be worth about $3 billion in expenses. Like he'll spend over $3 billion in his lifetime. That's all they give a shit about. How much is that person going to spend? How much can we get from that guy? You know, um, that in itself is also a term of slavery. You know what I mean? So there is true freedom. I don't know. That's why I think that we are blinded. We're like a horse being led with blinders on, and they only want us to look straight, you know. But when we go, wow, there's a bigger world out there. I can go that way too. You know, those
No, I
are the
heard
things that.
something. There's something that I heard yesterday that just it sparked in my head. With the blinders. Um, we're watching TV. We're entertained, and the reason why it's called programming is to program us. And it was like they're again telling you what they're going to do, and they're like, "Yeah, this is your programming. Go ahead, sit down on your little box, go to your job, pay your bills, and come home and make sure you stay programmed. Be comfortable, enjoy your beer. Let's go." And so that's something that should be taken into consideration. I think one of the most productive times in my life was when me and my wife decided not to watch TV for 90 days. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how much time do we spend in front of this thing? Now I'll work in front of the TV and I'll edit and do other stuff. But there's just the ridiculous amount of time that people spend in front of that programming box. And it will literally change your life. Even if you just cut out an hour and picked up a skill, it will change your life for the better if you just divert a little bit of time. Think people spend more time in front of a TV than they do at work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. You get your 8-hour workday, you get 8 hours of sleep, and then the rest you're entertained. If you're sleeping 8 hours, I only sleep like 6, but if that's, hey, I'm up from 4, so I'm getting there. I'm working on getting better sleep habits, but
well, here's the difference. Here's the difference. Only reason is because currently we rely on a JOB or something like that as far as for our income, our time. We need to, exchange our time for money at the current time. You know what I mean? Why? Because we haven't developed a system yet to automatically generate the monies that we need in order to sustain ourselves. Because if we did, I promise you probably wouldn't get up until about 8 o'clock, still do your morning routine. Noon, you're finishing your morning routine by noon. And then you can continue on with your day and still go to bed at a normal time because you're enjoying your day. You're crazy. But here's, waking up because we don't, so we're maximizing that. You know what I mean? So we are. No, I'm not even going to go there. Skip it.
It's 5:58.
Oh,
so I got to roll.
Yep. Today's my last day here. I got to go pack my bags and get the fuck out of here. Go back to the hangar, finish up the other sides, and I'm going home tonight. I don't know what time, but I'm going home. I'm tired, and I'm starting my no work for. I probably won't grab another job till about maybe the 5th, the 6th, maybe something like that.
So when do you leave?
You're
leaving the 27th?
Yeah. No, I leave the 27th. I leave the 27th, and I come back on the 3rd. But I'm not coming back. This is in September. Yeah. So I'll come back on the 3rd. Probably take the 4th off and I'll do something. I probably won't work until the 5th. I think I have a doctor appointment on the 5th. Nice. Oh, I do. I got to talk to my shrink. Nice. I get to talk to my therapist on the 5th. That's what I have to do. But other than that, let's see where this takes me. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. I really wasn't prepared for this trip. That's why I took this job. Right. And we're running out of time. Gotta go.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll catch you.
Peace out.